And thank you for joining us on the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Benga Oreshagun. Today on the program, Boko Haram kills 17 persons in Hung local government area of Adamawa State. 26 passengers in Borno State as council chairman calls for urgent military intervention. Also, one of the wanted top CBEX executives surrenders to EFCC. Later on the show, court dismisses Emefiele's bid to reclaim forfeited Abuja estate, comprising 753 duplexes. I'll be hanging out with Asukwo James and Kayode Ladende. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. Insecurity in Nigeria remains a moving target, shifting from one tragedy to the next as it leaves a trail of destruction in its wake. Boko Haram has launched fresh deadly attacks in northeastern Nigeria, killing at least 17 people in Hung local government area of Adamawa State and 26 passengers in Borno State. In Adamawa, the insurgents struck villages like Dabna and Kwapre near the hometown of the SGF boss, Mustafa, looting homes and leaving communities in fear. In Borno, explosives targeted civilian vehicles, resulting in mass casualties. Local authorities, including the Hung Council chairman, have called for immediate military intervention, warning that Boko Haram and ISWAP are regaining strength with more sophisticated weapons and support from foreign terror networks. Security experts say the insurgents are becoming more coordinated while residents continue to flee or live under curfews and fear. It is a very, very sad one. But if you remember, Asukwo, earlier this month, Governor Zulum expressed concern, saying that Borno is losing ground, to Boko Haram. But talk to me, are we back to that era where Boko Haram bomb innocent civilians to death? Are we back to that era?
Well, I won't say that we are back to that era, but it's looking like that.
It's looking like
in that right now what they are doing is they will plant landmines on the road, on highways.
IEDs,
knowing that civilians are going to pass that particular route. Just for them to cause fear, in the minds of people, and also make government, it's more like a propaganda of some sort. Terrorists usually use it, to know that, oh, we are around. And don't forget that this thing is coming up now because of the military is no more taking charge of that Lake Chad region.
Okay. The
multinational joint task force that used to handle the Lake Chad region has more or less been, disbanded, in that Niger, that used to be part of it, have left. Don't forget it's Niger, Chad, as well as Cameroon. So, but the Niger part, it used to be very, very strong. The multinational joint task force used to be very strong to curtail these guys. But right now, they found a way to know that there's a loophole, and because of that, they found the Lake Chad region to be a place that they can stay, strategize, and then find their way into Nigeria. And the Cameroon part is like they are having a free reign in the Cameroon part. So don't forget that we can still move to Cameroon using either local transport to go to Cameroon. So the one that happened that had that 26 people died is at the border town of Cameroon, the Damboa part.
Yes.
And so if you see that these guys are just making inroads because they already have a base. So once they have a base somewhere they call a base, they can always strategize and then find their way in. So I think governments will need to also re-strategize. Now that we know that Niger have decided not to be part of us, in quote, as in terms of
the military,
the ECOWAS thing. We need to re-strategize and find new allies, either from Cameroon or from another part, so that we'll be able to deal with them. Because if we leave these guys to continue to find a way around coming inwards, because even yesterday, they still went to Chibok.
Okay.
They were shooting sporadically, and they killed 7 people and injured several people in Chibok. You know, so we need to find how we will deal with these guys. And these guys come with, you know, motorbikes.
Exactly.
It's either we ban motorbikes completely in Nigeria until we are able to curtail this.
That's a controversial one. If we ban motorbikes, a very controversial one. Not many Nigerians will agree with you.
It's controversial, but you need sometimes you need to take drastic measures, you know, for us to be able to deal with the situation. Look at it in Brazil. By the time we are having people who are using motorbikes to steal and to kill people, what did they do? The government said, okay, fine, we will start legalizing firearms, you know, and then anybody that is close to you is either you knock the person down or you find a way of dealing with the person. So, but we need to find a way. Is either we say, okay, motorbikes for now, let's stop anybody that is riding motorbikes, maybe at a particular time, you know, that person should be apprehended or something, because these guys are using motorbikes because they know that if they are using cars, the military will be able to identify them, and then, you know, and they come in numbers. They have, like, if they are coming, they don't come in ones or twos. They'll come like 6, 7, 10, 20, like that. All motorbikes, knowing that the terrain is not conducive for cars. You know, so, and don't forget, even in Plateau, that was what was happening too. You know, so we need to find a way. I'm just giving that suggestion. Yeah. My suggestion might not hold water, but to me, if we want to...
It does, it does. You're a journalist,
if we want to stop at least their movement, let's ban motorbikes for a while, and then the only motorbikes that should be in place should be that of the military.
Okay. But still talking about this issue of Boko Haram, because over the years, 13 years, we have tried different strategies to combat this insurgents. We've even allocated lots of monies, you know, and yet we've not actually been able to clear them to the last man.
Yeah. I think one thing...
The question is, where are we getting it wrong?
Yeah, so fantastic view there. You know, that's to let us know that we need to revisit those strategies. It appears we went to sleep. When I mean we went to sleep, I mean our military.
Or do you think we got distracted with what's going on in
I don't have intelligence on that. But one thing is clear, you know, for the governor to scream and the local government chairman is also giving us some insight, except it's misleading us, you know, telling us that that particular area, you know, is a border town to Sambisa Forest. Okay. And there's no security presence. That sounds absurd. That was not the intensity we're having with the military when we're dealing with this Boko Haram head on. Maybe because of the victories we've gotten, we went to sleep. You know, as much as I may not, my example may not be a perfect example, because I recall where I was staying and when the militants were disturbing us somewhere just very close to Lagos, here in Arikpo, and the military came for bombardment. And our prayer is, let them not go away. So they stayed, as we speak, they still stayed after almost 6, 7, 8 years. That's to let you know that there shouldn't be, you know, internal vigilance is the price for liberty. So this is to let us know that, hey, we are talking about Borno again, we are talking about Adamawa, we are talking about Yobe. These are the 3 strong northeastern states that Boko Haram is always in the news. And for a long time, they've been well decimated. Whatever happens, whether they went into Sambisa Forest and, you know, degraded them, it's the strategy we need to reconsider. So I'm saying that the local government chairman should be taken seriously. Governor Zulum should be taken seriously. These are people who are crying out, and we must give them attention. So whatever it is, we're speaking to the Chief of Army Staff, we're speaking to the GOC, we're speaking to all of them, that it is time that people should feel safe. I've been to Borno in the recent time, and I couldn't believe that this was the Borno that we used to talk about in the news. There's been a powerful kind of peace that have been restored. So to hear the governor crying out.
So in other words, do you think sending more troops as in personnel,
the immediate step troops should go back. Do you know what security presence means, Benga? When you have, even when we are covering election,
yes, and
we are going to volatile area, when we see police, when we see army, there's that kind of confidence it gives you.
Okay.
Do you understand? So, but this chairman has said that even when they call them, they do not come. So there's a kind of neglect. What is the foundation behind this? Is it that they are not being mobilized? Is it that, because military, usually, when you mobilize them, they are happy to fight war. They are happy to defend the people, even though it's at the risk of their lives. But they will tell you that this is what we signed for.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So we need more troops. We need to take these outcries from the governor and the local government in these 3 states. Because before we know it, nobody wants to hear Chibok again. That Chibok is being ravaged and being attacked.
Absolutely. Now, there's this argument they say that, oh, the military is stretched. Though it's stretched because of all the different military operations going on. But last week, the governors called for more security personnel and tech-driven solutions. Now, these 2 options, recruiting more persons into the military to fight the insurgents or investing more in tech-driven solutions, which one do you think the government should do or act on first and fast?
But I would say the 2 immediately.
I was going to say that.
The 2?
Because if you are giving me options, you know, is going to be, now we know that technology is key.
Very key.
It's key. But you need personnel to man the technology. You understand?
That's true.
So the best thing is, let's get the technology on ground, because these guys are also technologically savvy. We might think because they started using drones for surveillance and all that. So we need to outpace them and outclass them
and outsmart them as well.
Them technologically. So the best thing is, let's also use technology. What technologies? I don't know whether the CDS and those in the military formation, they've been going out to see what obtains over there.
Okay.
You know, so that they can bring it here and then implement it immediately. So that we take these guys on, head on. Because the thing is, while we are talking today, these guys are going out to go and learn. Somebody is somewhere teaching them these new technologies. So we need to also find a way of not just using our AK-47 all the time. Let's begin to look at other things. Is it drone? You know, is it even, you know, anything technology that we can use? Even the satellite space. We can even identify where they are. When once they are staying somewhere, we should be able to know, and then we direct the Air Force to go there and deal with them. You know, we can use little drones to do that. Drones can also finish them.
Exactly.
So while we are using the technology, by the time we have men on ground, those ones can now move in and do the cleanup. You know? So we must find a way. I believe the government, because I know the last time some officers I saw on social media saying we need more weapons today. I want to believe that we have those weapons.
Absolutely.
You know? I want to, because right now, some days back, the Minister of Defense as well as the CDS went to Borno, and they promised they are going to send military, you know, equipment and hardwares to Borno State.
Okay.
So I want to see that improvement, not just for you to just send vehicles, send them, because Zulum has been doing that. He has been providing support, you know, for the military. The CDS said is going to add more. So, but what we need now is technology. Because we just don't need vehicles to fool everywhere in Borno State without technology.
These insurgents, they can't do anything without the help of some, what I call them, black legs. You know, in this community, helping them. How can we use it? How can our intelligence be used to improve in getting these people?
Yes, not just getting them, and also to take care of them, because this thing is rooted in poverty, is rooted in some kind of hunger.
Oh, okay. However, you're based on poverty and illiteracy?
Yes, because why would you sell out your people to be killed? It's unthinkable. But, you know, that's how far poverty can drive people. However, you know, I'm looking at, I'm even looking at the kind of people that were being killed. Hunters, civilian joint task force, which means that these are people who want to protect their people.
Sure.
These are people who have volunteered. This is not a case of people who are docile.
These are not people outside.
You understand?
Like your neighbor,
exactly.
your brother, your sister.
So they are not people who are saying, oh, let them come and kill us. We will just cry. These are people who are taking proactive steps that have been suggested to the people in the North Central.
Okay.
So they've done their best. But it's sad that no security presence. You know, we're not even, which means that I'm not trying to deride police, as little as police officers are not around.
Okay, just hold that thought.
So how do you fight insurgents?
Just hold that thought. We have Raji calling from Oshogbo. Raji, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Raji, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, Raji, let's talk. Hello, Raji, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, let's talk. Go ahead. You're live on air.
Okay, concerning the issue of Boko Haram in Nigeria, it's so pathetic that the Boko Haram can have access to drones, while Nigerian army could not. It's so pathetic that Nigeria is facing this issue, but those people that are in governance, they fail to take action on it. The governor of Borno has been talking for a while now.
Okay.
But it seems the people that are in charge, they don't want to listen. For instance, the former chief of army staff, Lavaja, was on top of the situation. Simply because he knows the terrain of Borno, because he was in forefront before he died. So I think the chief of army staff presently, need to take modus operandi from that action and continue from where he stopped. I think when they do this, just like Babajide Kolade Ututori used to say, they need to tackle this issue from the grassroots, giving them chance to go into Lake.
All right, thank you so much,
I know
Raji.
the military have what they call, they have this exercise for kinetic and non-kinetic measures.
But the people don't care about that. All
No,
they want is
they care.
peace and
Yes,
let
of course.
this matter be
the
done.
non-kinetic measures is okay, taking maybe medical supplies to a particular place, just trying to make sure that they have that relationship between the military as well as the civilian. So that they will be able to get information. When you see a strange face, you'll be able to, pass information to the military. So they are doing that. But is it enough? If it's not enough, it means they need to up their game. They said something about the chief of army staff. I think he has his work cut out for him.
Absolutely.
So he needs to find a way around this. Because if these guys, and don't forget, we are talking about Boko Haram in the southeast, in the northeast, in the northeast. Now, in some other areas, I don't know whether you heard about the one in Kwara.
Yes.
One Mahmuda, whatever group or something, that he himself, the chief of army staff, went, to clear them. So these guys are moving to different areas, giving different names to themselves, but they are Boko Haram members. But they are turning themselves into different groups. So we need to stop them from the roots, which is the northeast. Because that is where it's starting from. Stop them from there before they start moving inwards. So by the time we do that...
just to quickly respond to some of the things our caller said, I think federal government has responded that Zulum's statement is not being taken for granted. And two, to also mention that there is more for the Minister of Defense and Minister of State for Defense. They need to move. Just like the way they moved to Northwest when banditry was getting out of hand. They need to move back to the Northeast.
If
they
the
need
chief
to
of army
move.
staff needs to stay there, you let him stay there.
Because it goes a long way when these people also move to have a first-hand experience. So it doesn't look as if journalists hangout is just talking, we're just calling them out. We want the carnage to stop. The killings are unnecessary, they are mindless. And we cannot go back to that era. When you mention these three states, all you hear is killings and terrorism.
Yesterday we talked about the number of persons who have died in Plateau State, in Benue State,
in the North Central.
500 here.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't continue this way. It's unacceptable.
For the past 15,
It is
for the
unacceptable.
past 15 years in Borno, about 40,000 people have died. More than 40,000 people.
These are Nigerians. This is
You
unacceptable.
know, so we need to find a way. We don't want to go to that era whereby we'll be counting bodies, you know, particularly in the Northeast. So the best thing is we need to find that solution. And if Mr. President has to order the Chief of Army Staff to go there, to go to Borno State. It's not just about, oh, Zuluma said something or we are going to do something. But let him go there. The troops that are there boost their morale. If they need, listen to them. What do they need? Because I keep saying it. Those Boko Haram guys, they have a root. And anything, for a tree to grow, it must start from a root.
Cut down the root.
So cut down the root, which is the Lake Chad
and
the
also
Sambisa
the
region.
role of
So
the
destroy
northern
them from there.
elders. The role of the northern elders, the northern governors, they need to put heads together. What is actually fueling this?
You know,
poverty,
exactly.
illiteracy.
Exactly.
These issues need
BK
to be
even mentioned
tackled.
that there has to be that kind of state of emergency
Exactly.
by these governors who will say that enough is
Enough
enough.
is enough.
We need
have
to
put
stop
a
the
stop
killings,
to it.
and it's quite important. You know,
Exactly.
I just don't want to remember those days where even the airport in Maiduguri cannot even function. It was that bad.
It was that
Unimaid was shut down. So many terrible things. You know, it was that bad. So we don't want to go back to those things. And it's better we nip it in the bud.
Absolutely.
Even talking about Unimed, do you know that recently about 6 terrorists actually planted IEDs. On their way back, they forgot that they planted the IEDs. So they are the ones that stepped on the IEDs and then they...
I guess that's good news then. We need to go on this quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Still Journalist Hangout.